There we go again. A different type of music. We're chilling now because the rock music was fun, but it got a bit repetitive, that playlist. It was just 2 hours long, right? Not the longest playlist. Yeah, Charlie didn't want to do a big round. She was just like, let's get back inside where the AC is on. She's sleeping again. So, you know. But she's a cutie. She was tired. She didn't want to. She's snoring on my feet at the moment. So I was like, let's just get back to it then. Sorry. I'm still doing some small setup and customer stuff on the side. So I'm not bringing up the dev just yet. So we're just gonna be sitting here chilling, I guess, for a second. Let's see. So did you have lunch yet, Mason? I'm betting it wasn't as good as lunch as we had yesterday. Yesterday was good lunch though. It was a while ago since we did that. Cereal. Okay. Yeah, I mean, serial is a thing, I guess. That's it technically classifies as food, I think, or at least it should. I'm not 100% sure. I think it technically does. There you go. Sugar circles in milk. Yeah, that checks out. Sugar circles in milk. That's... Yep, fair enough. Alright, so... Yeah. I was thinking this over, right? So if we wanna store this in the database, but we don't wanna pollute the, because we're gonna do a temporary storage where the scraped articles are, like the scraped info is gonna be stored, and then after we've processed them, that database could be pruned, right? So we have to do a processed and non-processed flag, get the stuff in there. Yeah, I think you're better off eating like McDonald's than eating cereal, or it's close. Like it's really not good for you. It's tasty though. Yep. Yep. Pick your poison. 100% true. If you have to go, you have to. You best go in style, right? Eating tasty food. Breakfast of champions, man. Something like that. Okay. Discussion about file sizes with good. Big leak. I think we're good with. So what I want to do, actually, it's not this project, right? I think it's. Is it this project? Oh, it's not this one. Right. I want to borrow the same idea we did for the activity logger in a different project. We're gonna call this yeah, you got driving license today, right? Oh, that's fine. I'm just gonna call it news scraper. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'll be here for a bit. So when you get back, we can talk more. Yes. I'm gonna make a different database connection, different database for this. Reason we could, it's not gonna pollute like the real database, and we could just prune it and clean it. If it gets too big, we just always kill it, right? This is a thing in PHP town, like in Laravel town, that I don't get, because we are actually, like, if you look at where I'm at, like, I'm in the config directory, right? So this message saying called env outside of the config directory is not true, because I'm in the config directory, right? So I don't know why it's giving this prompt, and I'm just drinking my coffee before it turns completely cold. Nah, the LSP isn't perfect, but it's fine. Like I can ignore these errors pretty much, I guess. Alright, it's kind of nice to have that LSP though. That LSP is actually pretty decently okay. I think I have it set up here, right? And just go for dark mode all around, because how do we call this thing? What's wrong with your eyes? Yeah, we're back to dark mode, man. Stop complaining. Here. Dark mode. Complaining about stuff that shouldn't matter, right? Let me think how we solve this here, because we need to, if we want to do different connections, right? We need to have different... She's sleeping, so no treat regimes. We need to specify... Right. We're gonna lose the ability to force up and down, I think. And we need to figure out a way to test this, which is, I think, kind of difficult. We're not testing the activity logger either, because I guess you have to spoof the connection or something. We'll figure that out. This also means we have to go into our config, right? And add a So we're gonna go like this. So how do we do it? Over here. Right, so if you have new scraper, so we're gonna set it to false by default. So if you want to turn it on, you can specify in the env. You could go true, right? So now it's on. So this is gonna set the database connection. This means that if that's not set, so we need the table name as well, right? Get these out of here. Let's just start with this, right? Let's see if this actually migrates. It's got users and stuff. There you go. And you go to the scraper. It's also there. Okay, okay. So this works. What are we? I'm not really sure if this is true, but you know. All right, I forgot something. Hold on. Okay, let's. Oh. There we go. So let's think this over, right? So we have the. What do we really want to save? Store version, the ID, author, by, and the URL, right? I think if we have that, if we have this covered, we have everything to regenerate the articles, right? I think that's true. Is that true? Is that true? I think that's true. So we have a table. Why isn't this just ID? It's not the capture card. I think it's the HDMI. How about now? Is this better? Alright. So I probably bumped the HDMI cable. It's kind of finicky at the moment. I don't know why. I'll have to fix that later. This shouldn't be. This should be a big in because we got IDs in the 40,000s, I think. All right, so we're gonna call this the story ID. I mean, it could also have been you using a subpar operating system, right? Like, I'm not sure why you're blaming it on me all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing we also need to do is like URL, right? Because I don't care about score, I don't care about type. Not here, at least. Or do we just dump the entire like ID, title, type, URL, score? We just save everything for now. Because we have this, which would be the story ID. Let's get the title, type, offer, URL, score. And this should be an integer, right? So this would mean we would save everything that we have. I'm not sure how big score can get. Oh, we need to. Okay. I strongly dislike dubstep. Yeah. You can't do this. You can't force drop the when you have different database connections because it only force drops the main connection. It doesn't force drop the other connections. that's something we could figure out. Not now, but I mean that. No. No, but it's like it. We have multiple connections set up in this project now, right? So we have the MySQL connection, and we have the new scraper, which is also MySQL, but it's a different database. So if you do art migrate fresh, it force drops everything. But that means that because you force drop, it only force drops for the main connection, which is the MySQL one. So it doesn't force drop this one during the migrations. Which means that if this table exists over here and you try to refresh, it doesn't drop this and you get the error I just got. Where it says, hey, the table that you're trying to drop already exists. Which is true, or you're trying to create already exists, which is true because it never got dropped, right? So it's one of the things you need to be mindful of when doing multiple connections. It's also something I feel like we could fix probably, but not now. Okay, so I feel like that's the naming convention. I'm blanking on the naming convention even. Singular. Yep. You know what they say, like Mason? Little Jimmy drop tables, and there the production database went. So Charlie is semi-conscious. More coffee. Okay, so I think for this one, I need to think for a second. That's what we're trying to do, right? Good old Stack Overflow, I guess. I think we've done it before, right? Because what we actually want to do is we only want that one model, like this model, to use a different database connection, right? So this, So we should still create a factory for this. It's not dollar. It's protected. I think it's connection. Yep. She was snoring super loud. Like I could hear her over my headphones. She's really zonked out. But I think we can do... I think we can do this. I think, maybe? Feel like this should work, right? Maybe? Fillable is gonna be... gonna be story ID, right? Call this story ID. Yep. I'm not sure if we can do this. Like use the config to set the connection, I mean. Ooh, doesn't matter. Don't think it matters. We could hard code it for now. Yeah, because it's you can't load it here. You can't use the config values in your model to determine the connection. Like it's the framework doesn't allow you. So we're just gonna hard code it for now, and then in 10 years when we rebuild this, we'll fix it. Every coding project ever in the history under the sun, right? Surely we'll fix it later. Surely. Also, we'll fix it, and don't call me Shirley. You're not Shirley. No, I'm also not Shirley. Yep. So this would mean don't need that. We need this one. I don't really need it. So this would mean that if we get the story, we could go right? Yeah, good luck. Good luck in driving lessons, mate. Hope to catch you later. Don't kill too many pedestrians, right? So this would mean that we could just create them here, I guess. Okay. Almost. Table, Cerberos website, scraper, feed, scraper, feed. I'm not really sure what it's trying to. Table Cerberos website scraper feed dot news mine scraper doesn't exist. Connection news scraper insert into I think we have to map them. Which will mean, let's see, dump the stories. Okay. Story ID. Story ID, title, type, author, URL, score. Story ID, title, type, author, URL, score. This is a connection. what's going on here, right? It's new scraper. Oh. Also, this song was actually kind of shitty. Okay. Doesn't seem to be... Base tip? I think I'm just misnaming something. It's news underscore scraper. Okay. So that means it's in this one, and it's the table is not underscore scraper. Okay. Got him. So that will mean we're not gonna do a create. We're gonna do a first or create. What this is gonna do is the first or create. So first is gonna try and get it by story ID. If it already exists, it's not gonna do anything. If it doesn't exist, it's gonna create it. Which means if we do this again, we shouldn't have two items, right? Because that's still the top one. But if I do two, we should have two. So the XSLT and the I switch from Flutter to Rust. There you go. So this is way better, so you don't actually keep grabbing the same items over and over and over and over again, right? Because even though this is a temporary database, like everything in this database is going to get processed and then removed when it's processed, it's still best practice to not like overfill it, right? I get crazy big database for no reason at all. Yeah. Let me think about this for a second, because if we're gonna do if we're gonna do this for all the top stories and the best stories and the news stories, we should actually add a field to it so we know I want to say it's list source. So this is gonna fail, right? Hey, Darksays. How you doing, dude? A busy day today, or you just woke up? Also, this is the second stream of the day. We added a new redeem. Can't claim it right now. Even if you claim it, I'm not gonna do it because she's sleeping. But, you know. Yeah. Give Charlie all the snacks. Yeah, no, she gets. Okay, I'm gonna explain it again. See, this is what she gets. And this is made of duck and steak, right? So there's 5 redeems per stream with a half-hour cooldown between each redeem. And one person can only do 5 redeems, right? So this piece gets cut up in 5 pieces for her to eat. So she doesn't get all the snacks. And she has to perform something on stream. Like she has to sit, roll over, do something. Like nothing for free. I think I can do... Let's try this. Fresh. I think I can set the database is okay, so okay. Yeah, I know. There's nothing in Steam sale that I actually want, to be honest. So what we could do is we could like divide the... What do you want? Which one do you want? Why is it Pi DLC? Yeah, okay, sure. We could split this up in multiple migrations and just run the migration for the... seems like a hassle though. And also this is not something that you want on when doing local development, right? So for local we could basically have it off or like manually delete the table, right? Oh, it's gonna, when you do that, it's gonna do all the migrations for... Yeah, okay. Okay, okay, I gotcha. And that's why you want to give the path to the migration, because it's gonna... Yeah, okay. Okay. This should work now. Yep. Yeah, I haven't even gotten... the original game. Sorry, can't think. This is gonna fail because it... Yep. So we manually delete this one. Oh yeah, Ragnarok I do, but Lies of Pi I don't. I have Ragnarok. I haven't finished it. I finished the first... Well, I mean, the other God of War that's on Steam. That one's finished. But I stopped playing Ragnarok because then Space Marine came out. I started playing Space Marine. And DBD got better. Then I started playing DBD again. Now I'm playing Space Marine again. So I'll get to it eventually. I'll get back to it for sure. Yep. Okay, so I added the list source so we could do the top stories. We could do news stories. We could also do best stories, and like we know which list these are coming from, right? What does this URL actually do? There might be some more data we need to scrape. Let's see what happens when we hit this this endpoint. So what's the story here? I don't get how this is a story. It's just an update to a system. Shouldn't that be? Okay, so there's gonna be some stuff in here. If I just do the top 10, see what we get. No, I've been doing this type of stuff, man. I haven't been paying attention to anything. Okay, so we get... Let me move away from freaking doing this playlist. So what are people complaining about? Also, which event, by the way? DVD event. Okay, what's the complaint? What? So this doesn't even have a... Then don't play your P100 character. Let's be honest now, right? Sorry. That is a valid point. Right? No, but that is a valid point. Like the blood web, when you're at P100, it's really hard to get certain items, right? Because it's the max blood web that you get. I think that's a valid complaint. Let's be honest. I think that's a valid complaint. Because those blood webs on your P100 are shitty as all heck. Because those are the level 50 blood webs you're repeating and repeating and repeating. And if you just want to play your character, like if you have a P100 killer that you really like, you just want to play that. I get that there should be a sweet spot where you should get, like, the entire blood web is weird, man. Also, people are also weird. Also true. So we're getting the stories, right? So this is a story, I think. Yeah. Title, score, URL, parent. Oh, we should probably check for dead or deleted, right? Is that something we want to track? I think we should want to track that, right? Do we just want to save all this information? I don't think so, right? Because we could always, if we have the ID, we could always retrieve them. I'm not gonna save it for now. Also not gonna worry about this. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. So for this, so this is only going to be here for debug purposes, right? As long as we're debugging, we're doing this, but once we're done debugging, we're not. We're just No. I'm thinking. I was thinking. All right, let's get back to the. Indeed, get you guys back in the code. So what I'm thinking, what I'm struggling with now, right? So we got all these articles. And we just... Also, this is a duplicate, which shouldn't be there, I guess. This is weird. Hold on. So if you have no rows, and we go, give me the top one. Right, we have this one, which is good. And go, give me the top 10. Yeah. Top 10 again. And we should still only have 10 and not 20 or 11. Yep. Alright, probably just me messing up. Okay, so we know which list they come from. So these are the top stories. So we're only displaying this now in the terminal for debugging purposes. So what I actually want to do is this one. Get best hacker news command.php. New stories. No stories found. Let's add that as well, right? I'm fine with a rate, depending on what kind of rate you're suggesting. I'm gonna be live for at least another hour or two, so. I think you have to follow first before. Yep, thank you for the follow. I put it to followers first because when we started out, when I was growing the channel to get to affiliate, I didn't want to get people to rate in. Just like that's kind of weird. All right, hold on, let me fix that. Give me a second. Where's that thing hidden? Yeah, Twitch is switching. Let me put this there and do some settings without you guys. Okay, you could try again. You should have a minimum of 1 viewer and your account should at least be 30 days old. That's the only requirements I have at this moment. So, which I feel those are requirements that are fair, I guess, right? Thank you very much for the raid. Thank you a lot. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Yeah, it's weird that Twitch, like I had to, The settings were good. I just had to re-select everything, press save, and Twitch said, okay, apparently you're saved. Hello everybody, welcome in. I'm building a fun little project. And let me walk you guys through it. We're doing Laravel today, so we're doing PHP. Thank you for the follow. I'm building a way to... so we have... Everybody probably knows Hacker News, right? Hi everybody. People probably... Sorry for the... Thanks for the follow. Sorry for the light mode. I'll turn on dark mode for the people that have sensitive eyes. Kind of excited for PHP 9. I'm still trying to work my way through getting PHP 8.4 wrapped in my head, right? I've been doing this for a long time. I've been working with PHP since PHP 4. I've been developing software since 2000 and early 2000s, basically. Like professionally since 2009. And before that, I did another... Yeah, like 2005 is when I started working professionally, and I think 2001 is when, yeah, I really started doing a lot of PHP. Anyway, I did like different languages. I was a Microsoft certified engineer. I did some Python, some Ruby, some Rust, some Go, PHP. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Today we're doing Laravel, we're doing PHP. What I'm trying to build is there's the site called Hacker News, which has a lot of news items. But they also have an API, right? So they have their own API. My idea was, I want to... Like, everybody's busy, right? Also, I do not know Nette, by the way. Everybody's busy. And I want to read news articles that are interesting, but I don't want to read them... Like, I don't have... Let me finish this first, and I'll get to your question, Void. But I don't necessarily have time to like go over here and read the entire article, right? Not every day. So what I want to do, what I'm trying to build, is I'm poking their API, getting the top news stories, getting the best stories, saving them in the database. Then I'm gonna run them to like an LLM, get that to summarize it for me, and then I've got like summarize it in a particular style for like max 10 minutes reading or X amount of characters. We're gonna save that, and I'm gonna use that to get my news feed fixed, right? And we're also gonna, because Cerberos is my own company, we're also gonna put that up on our website somewhere. I'm gonna put like a link here that's industry news or something. So that's what I'm building. That's what we're doing today. Also, we have a dog that's chewing on my feet. There's a command to give her treats. She gets treats if you guys redeem with enough points. She'll probably show up somewhere. What do you think about better design for big projects? If your question is, would I use Laravel for a big project? Sure, I would. Laravel's awesome. Okay. Let's see if she wants to respond, right? Hold on a second. We get the better webcam view. Hold on. Yeah, she's stubborn. Thank you for the follow. It's our, it's Charlie. It's my dog. Come here. She's a cutie. She's usually here when I stream. Because she's always, and our emotes are, of course, her, right? Yeah, she's a sweet girl. She was sleeping on, like, she has her own spot beneath my desk where, like, there's her spot. Like, her stuff is there. So she's usually just napping with her head on my feet. So yeah, for this, I think Laravel is great for big projects. I think that's where we were, right? Yeah, we use it. Like my company uses Laravel for most of the stuff. We also have some Rust stuff going on and some C# and some Go, but it's mostly Laravel. And we do kind of sort of big projects. We work in we do software development based on business to business. So it's APIs for like design patterns. Yeah. We try to stick as close to the framework patterns as we can. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to, like, we got 100% test coverage, 100% type coverage in our site, right? Yeah, I got you. For big project when we use Laravel's framework. Okay, so depending on the project, which is also important, right? I believe it's probably a, it's a hot topic, but striving for like doing test-driven development, doing TDD it's a valid effort, but there's no way you can get everything tested, right? I think it's project dependent, depending on what kind of project you're doing. You should not. I don't think you should have. Okay, let's put it this way, right? I don't call myself a Laravel developer. I'm a software developer. I'll create the correct software depending on your needs. If that means it's a Laravel project, we're gonna do Laravel. If it's like a simple Rust or a Go or a Python binary that fixes your issue, it's gonna be that. If it's just an Excel sheet with the correct macro set, it's gonna be that, right? So you use the right tool for the right solution. The right tool for the job, basically. Same goes for design patterns. Like, not everything fits. If you have one design pattern to fit all, that's not true, right? Like, not every project needs the same design pattern. So, as well as the code and the stuff you build should match the project requirements, so should the design pattern. If that makes sense. If I've explained that correctly. So my answer will be, it depends. Depends on what you wanna, yeah. All right, let me think about what I was doing before I lose track of. So that's that one. I think this was the best ones, right? But no, that doesn't work. So I'll search and replace way too much. Best. Okay. So now we have 3 commands. The reason why I'm doing 3 commands for the same, basically the same task, right? Is because these are different lists we're getting. And I could create one command that grabs, that has a like a parameter, a param that where you set the, instead of the limit, we could also pass which list we want to get here. But then we put the like the responsibility of the command to figure out which list you want to get in the command, which is weird. Also, we wanna schedule these at different intervals, because I could imagine we're not getting the top stories every hour, right? Because it's a list that's not refreshed a lot, because those are at the top. Because how the site works is people upvote, right? If you're logged in, if you have an account, you upvote, and the stories with the most points go to the top. So that list is not going to fluctuate a lot in general from day to day, right? It's not going to be. So I feel like once or twice a day getting all the top stories would be good. That will be enough. But for like this one, the news stories, maybe we want to get these every hour because there's new news coming out, right? For the best stories, I'm not really sure what the difference between the best stories and the top stories is, but we'll figure that one out. Okay, so we just created 2 new commands. This also means can't really brain today. Get new need to create new tests. Get best. We want to replace this with this is the new. Also, yes, I use Vim. By the way, with yep. I'm curious, since everybody came in, what IDEs are you guys using, if any? Like, are there any JetBrains, VS Codes? What's everybody using? Yep, I got tagged in a message. Okay, that's not really important. I think this works the same, right? It should work the same. I think I wanna match this and change that in group does that make sense? Nah, that doesn't make sense. We can just have it in Hacker News and we can just go. By the way, if you guys are wondering what my terminal setup is, you can do !dot files and you'll see both my macOS and my Linux config and my NeoVim stuff. It's all there. Yeah, I was assuming this was. Yeah. Yeah. This is because we use a different database connection, so when we test, it just fails because it can't. So we have to solve the connection issue. Ah, that's shitty. Let me think about this for a second, because okay. What I've done, come on, in the database config of Laravel, we have the normal MySQL connection, right? I also stop complaining. I also have the this is the normal MySQL connection, but I also have a new connection with another database, because when we're doing scraping of the articles, I don't want to use my normal database to put like temporary data in, right? It's gonna get big, it's gonna maybe get corrupted or something. Or am I making this too complex at the moment? And could we just get away with having it in the main database for now? And once we notice it's getting too big, because that would solve this testing as well, because this testing is breaking because it can't. What I'm going to do now is I'm first gonna, I'm trying to create the optimal situation, right? And trying to reverse engineer and test the optimal situation. That's not gonna work because we haven't finished building this entire structure yet. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna, I'm gonna go here. For now, I'm gonna turn this off. Yep. And this is only for now, right? This is not like the final solution. But sometimes when working with software, especially with stuff like this, where I'm not actually sure where I'm gonna end up, it might be okay to just get to a situation that actually is workable without like overthinking it, and we can refactor as we go, right? It's not a bad thing to. So this database. All right. Why? Why did she call you a joker though? Like this should still get articles and put them in the. Oh, right. Wait, what? %92%. And you're not sure if you passed? I think you passed. Oh, it's not. I made a typo. Yeah, okay, so that's, yeah. What am I missing? Hold on. Table, the... I always forget. Are the... Oh, the table should be plural. Okay, yeah. I always forget with Laravel. Like, should the tables be plural or singular? I always forget. Well, it's plural. Table names are plural, model names are singular. There you go. I guess for now it's fine to have it in the main database. I'm just gonna not bother with having the different connections because it's not that important at this point when we're still figuring out what we're actually building and making, right? We'll fix this and refactor it later, I'm pretty sure. Don't have to over-engineer it, to be honest. So that means that if we go test it now, it should all pass, theoretically. Yeah, okay. Yeah, true, because we're searching for top stories and we're getting news stories, so that makes sense. Okay. At least no database errors anymore. Okay, so let's see. We're getting. So what's the news stories? That's top stories. News stories. Yeah, I think we're hitting the correct. Right? Yeah. The command is working. Yeah, we got the tops. And then we get news stories. And you see, you can see the difference, right? If you sort by score, like all the top stories have at least, like the top one has 400. So these are upvotes on the site, right? And the news stories are all super low because they're new, which makes perfect sense. Okay, so the command works, it's just the test that doesn't work. We'll fix the test in a second. Let's get the other command working as well. This is the best. Yeah, let's run this one as well. See if that one also populates. Yeah, and here in the best, you can really see it. Like 1388. Like the best stories are... Okay, yeah. Ah, okay, I get it. So the best ones are the ones with the most upvotes. The top ones are the ones with... Okay, so it's news stories, top ones, best. So we probably want to get the best stories. And then have the tops in the new... Yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's fix the tests. Get back to 100% coverage, right? So which ones are failing? Let's see. Got the best one. Okay, so it's only the new Hacker News command test that fails. Top stories. Okay, so we need to do some renaming and some. Okay. That's gonna be new. I think I'm gonna add another group. Yeah, I'm gonna add another group. That's what I'm gonna do. Now I've looking at this. So we can add more groups to our testing, right? So for this, I'm gonna add the group news stories. So nothing should change. We can do hacker news, which is all the hacker news commands we have. This is what I like about Pest, by the way. We're using Pest for testing this website. We could do commands, which gets us all the commands the application has, which are a whole lot more than just right. And now with the new group, we could do what do we call it? News stories. You can do just right, so you can pinpoint which group you want, and the groups could be like very small, very big. Because I like grouping tests like this, because then I can reuse the same naming for tests. Okay, good. I can definitely do. Stories. I'm gonna change that into top stories. Which also means if you go here instead of new, top. I'm rerunning the test every time to see if I don't mess up, right? Which is good practice when you're writing tests in general. Also, yes, there's probably a better way to do this in Vim, but I'm kind of lazy and it's Friday, so. I think I missed something up there. I also don't mind typing. As I told earlier. Wait a minute. Oh. I moved to a mostly predominantly keyboard-centric workflow a couple of years back because I had like issues with my wrists and my hands. So if you want to know what keyboards I'm using, you can do !keyboard. That also meant I had to do way more like in Vim and like terminal-based workflows because that actually keeps your hands on the keyboard instead of having your hands be out in the on the mouse. And if I do use a mouse, I use a trackball, by the way. Not for gaming. For gaming, I have like a regular mouse, but I don't game 10 hours a day, right? So it's yeah. Because I think if you're doing this kind of work, like I said, I've been doing this since 2005, which is 20 years. Come to think of it now, I've been doing like IT work in some way, shape, or form for 20 years. You only have one set of hands, right? So you have to. Same with like. Invest in your peripherals. Invest in a decent keyboard. Invest in a decent enough chair. Invest in stuff that keeps you healthy, right? Move. That's why I also have a dog who's peacefully sleeping. So I get outside a lot because the dog needs to go out. So I need to go out. It's important. You only got one life, right? So now I can do stories. Yeah. I mean, it's all right. There you go. So if I go all the Hacker News commands, and we should be back to 100% test coverage. We'll figure that out. Let's do something real quick while the tests are running. Let's see. I think we're back to 100% coverage and type coverage on everything. Which means RCI also passes. Yeah, I still think this might be okay-ish. Like if we process this, we process this daily, we remove it, we prune it daily. It shouldn't be too bad, right? Yeah, so Anthrax, I ended up putting it in the same database because if we do separate database connections when we do unit tests every unit test is gonna force drop and force recreate. So they're all gonna fail. So there's no way to test it, right? So unless we figure out a way to unit test with different connections, yeah. Unless we figure out a way to unit test with different connections, I was like, fuck it, we'll refactor it later on. Yeah, this one I haven't finished yet, so that's entirely correct. Let's get the coverage going. Yeah, somebody outside. That's not what I said you should do, but hey, sure. Yep. This one's not covered at all, which makes total sense. Because this command is still doing the top stories and should get the best stories, right? So. There you go. But yeah, so they're in the same database for now. Like it doesn't really matter, right? If we prune this, it's only 3,000 entries a year, 2,600 ish. Anyway, like if we get, well, not really because it's ×3 depending on what we're doing. But I mean, we can figure that out later. It's not something we need to tackle right now. Right. So the top stories could have a situation where they don't have a title. That's or the best stories is actually what I was trying to say. Yeah, so best stories could actually have. Hmm. Wait, what am I? Let's just print a warning and see what it actually has, right? Also know what I wanted to do. Hello? Why is this keyboard all of a sudden acting up? But it has a title. Wait, what? Ha! Kind of confused here. Oh, right. I'm confused because I got it backwards. Grab this. This here. That there. Okay, so it has titles. Yeah, okay. So the command seems to be working. So what's going on here? Let's see. Yeah, I can imagine that's that's a thing. Yeah. Why do you think I've turned off the transparent terminal? Because it's confusing as all heck when there's stuff in the background. I like it when working, but when you actually have to focus, it's such a thing, man. I can't. Maybe I'm just old, right? Maybe we're just getting old. Well, Sage, feel free to just ask, man. You can just, you know. Also, yep, confusing as all heck. I hope the vibes are good. At least the music's good. Oh, this is still getting the top stories. That's the problem. Almost. Yeah. Okay. So we need to fix some typos and stuff, which is gonna happen when you do copy paste. There we go. Back to passing. Good. This can't ever be true. See if we mess this one up as well. Yep. News stories. So this test is also broken. News stories. Not in news stories. Because it's not the new top stories, it's the news stories, right? Now they should all be passing again. Can't think. And the coverage should be back up to 100%. No, still mess something up. Failed getting the news stories. I think there's still a typo in the command. Didn't save. Also kind of important. I'm gonna run this and do a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. It's just a dog. Also, I'm pretty sure she can get a new treat if one of you redeems it. Also, welcome Crosskeys. And we are indeed back to 100%. I needed to do a bathroom break. I'm not taking you guys with me. We're back to being 100%. We're not testing the exceptions because there's no... These are not used at the moment. Yes! But it's not... It's like 100% type coverage in Laravel and 100% test coverage in Laravel. Which doesn't mean a single thing, right? Because you could still have broken code that you're not covering at all. But, I mean... You know, there we go. Okay, so we have these commands finished up. Let's see where we're at. Probably a lot of stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'm not too sure if I want to add this just now. Top, new, best. Okay, news, scraper, commands. And the reason that we're doing 3 commands is because I want to schedule them differently and I don't want to make the commands too complex, right? Because we could make one command that does all three, but then it gets pretty complex because that command has to figure out the intention of which list we're trying to get. Because they're different endpoints, they're different API endpoints, right? So, there you go. Also, a good rule of thumb: whenever you're done, make sure you commit it to Git, and try to make like these are pretty small commits, right? It's like 3 files, 2 files. It's not like a big commit. So if anything breaks in one of these commits, we can just revert the commit and not lose a ton of data, right? Because if you create commits with 10, like if I could do this in one commit, and if just one test broke or one, like the model wasn't right, I have to revert all the other commits as well. So a good rule of thumb is try to make the commits as small as possible. For this, since it's test for the same thing, since it's the commands, it's a test for, like, you can group these things could be grouped. But even better would be if I went get the top command, get the new command, like get different commits, but I don't think it really matters in this point, right? It's yeah. It's gonna be something. We want to revert. But I feel like for these are so similar and this is so, it's use your judgment on stuff like this, right? Okay, so if I grab the database and just delete all the rows, and I could go get the best hacker news, and we'll go we're still displaying it in the terminal for now and saving it to the database. Since we're still kind of figuring out what we're doing. Like in an ideal world, this would never display anything, right? At least not the stable in the in the CLI. That's useless because this is going to be run by a cron job. So this is, nobody's ever going to see this. But for now, when we're developing, it's kind of nice to have, right? Okay, so what's next? So these top stories should still work. Yep. So now we should have 30 stories. Yeah, there we go. And the stories are not like, it's just the title and the URL to where the story is, right? So we're almost there. We're almost there. All right, so this seems like this is wrongly. This one should be wrongly. This is an ask, and if you look at the, so this would be an ask, but it's one that got caught up in. Is that new? Does that mean that the new endpoint doesn't care new top and best stories? So new, So this one, I think the ask we're getting here is just a false. It's an input data issue on their part. I think this got tagged as a story when it shouldn't be a story, so we shouldn't care about this at all. I don't think we should care about this at all. Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, I got 15 more minutes to go before I have to leave and get other stuff done. So what can we do in 15 minutes that actually is gonna I don't know. I think I'm gonna discard this one as well. Yeah, I have nothing. Let's go here for a sec. Just hang out. Because there's nothing I can get into. Like the next step we're going to be doing is feeding this data to the to an LLM and get it to summarize summarize the summarize the articles we're feeding it, right? So that's going to be the next step. But that's going to be a step where I need to get an API key and get that set up. And that's way more work than I can get done in 15 minutes. So that's not happening now. So I guess we're just hanging out for a second while I figure out if I can send you guys to somebody fun. This was fun though. I feel like we're almost over halfway where I want us to be. Right, since I want to end up with the articles on the website being like a summary created by an LLM in a specific style with a reading limit, where we could say like, oh, I just want to have a max character or max reading amount at this read speed and let it generate it, and then we're gonna save that and serve that back. And then we should also think about when we're doing those articles, we should maybe get it to generate an image tied to the article. That might be fun. Right, just header image, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure that out in the next stream, which is going to be next Tuesday. Yeah. Because I tried to be live on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. If time permits, of course. So we're all busy people. And we're in the middle of moving office spaces, which is also very interesting. Let's see. Oh, I know where I'm sending you guys. Yep. I'm sending you guys over to the Primeagen, which is also a software streamer who's talking about PewDiePie leaving YouTube and Google. So it's going to be fun. I hope to see you guys next Tuesday when we're doing the final part, like the LLM part, and we'll figure out which images we're sending. But before I send you guys off, the doggo gets a treat. I hope you guys enjoyed. There you go. And I'll hope to see you guys on Tuesday. Let's go say hi. He's very busy. It's very, very crowded there, but let's go say hi. Nah. She's not gonna be fat. Right. See you guys on Tuesday. Speak to you later, Sage and everybody. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.